Hi guys, welcome to Healing with Nelly. This is Nelly, and I hope everyone is good today. We are back with the emotional healing journey that we're embarking on. Alrighty, so on my previous video where I spoke about hurting means being called into healing. So now I want to focus on this statement. Rock bottom is your highest frequency. Clock that. Rock bottom is your highest frequency. Because you have to be isolated to start healing. On my previous video, I mentioned this. If you are in a space, in any area of your life where you are hurting or you are suppressing some truth and you are not speaking up about things that you are not aligning with, or you just experiencing anything that you're experiencing that you think you are in a corner and you are deeply hurting emotionally. Let's just say you are aware that you didn't like where you've been and something is happening to remove you from there, or you are not even aware of what's happening, but something bad keeps happening into your life and you're hurting about it. So when I say rock bottom is your highest frequency, I mean God will cause you to hurt and isolate in order for Him to send a message to you, in order for you to even begin with healing. We have to confront what's wrong in order for us to be able to move forward. So, when these things that put you under pressure happen, when these bad things, or you are being targeted emotionally, physically, or spiritually, anything that seems like it's challenging you at that time. So when I say rock bottom, usually it takes a lot of people to fail before they can realize who they are. For example, it will take someone to leave a certain relationship in order for them to even start to start a new business. It will take someone to leave a certain space for them to be able to carry on or continue. So when that happens, rock bottom, God uses us to hurt and to lose for us to be aware, for us to be isolated. So when that happens, when you are in those troubles, normalize solitude. Normalize solitude. Not just to go cry and resent the issue, or to just cry, go and pray for change. You can pray for change, yes, but you have to understand the root of the cause, the problem. Why are you going through what you are going through? And sometimes we pray asking God, but God doesn't throw down answers to us. I'm sure you've heard the fact that we are created in the image of God. What does that mean? That means that the God that we pray to, thinking that He is way beyond the sky, is in here with you. So when you hit rock bottom, whatever situation that you see as rock bottom in your life, when you are in that situation, that's your highest frequency. You're being called for something very sacred. You're being called for something very important. So stop complaining about being under pressure. When you're under pressure, you're at your highest frequency. So solitude, normalize just taking your time, being alone, being alone. If you want to cry, cry if you have to. But watch out. You can cry and then ask questions and then look forward. Don't cry and resent and say, oh, I know this always happened to me. Nothing ever works out for me. I know. And then go back to life with that attitude. Solitude is meant to change you for the next level. Solitude is meant to enlighten, to heal you. So whenever that rock bottom hits, you might lose your job, you might lose whatever that you lose. But rock bottom, you know what I say when I mean rock bottom. People hit rock bottom or lose millions of money, relationships, everything collapse and it's a rock bottom. And that's where they think they are at their worst. Rock bottom is not your worst. Rock bottom is your highest frequency. Because it's more like a reset button. It's more like a reset button. The more you isolate and be with you and ask the right questions. Do you know that little voice that we all have? That little voice that always says the right thing. When you're about to take a bad decision, the one that says, oh, you do know that is, you know that's wrong. Or let's say, example, you're having unprotected intercourse. That voice that says, you will get pregnant. Or that voice that says, this is a sin. Or this is wrong. That is the proof that you have God in you. That single voice that always has the right things to say that we ignore most of the times because we're like, oh, whatever. That is your God. That was created in the image of the real creator that lives inside you, the one that you were born with. So she or he can show you your purpose. But because we're born in the system and then we get lost and then we lose it all, when you hurt, it always sends you back to that voice. So, now that you know that that voice is godly, that voice always has the right things to say. That voice always has the right answers. So solitude, instead of just going away or isolating yourself just to cry and resent, cry and listen and ask questions. Ask the right questions. You see the questions that you want to ask God. If God was here, you would ask those questions. Ask those questions and see if your subconscious is not going to answer, because your subconscious, your inner self, is God himself. And when you ask the right questions and listen, he answers. And solitude, and sometimes it's not even about grieving the situation. Solitude is about wisdom. Whenever God needs you to focus, he takes you away from the crowd. He gives you problems that will drown you away from the people, that will cause you to want to be alone. You know, when people hurt, they'll say, no, just let him be. You know, he will be fine. Let her be alone. They're going through stuff. Give them time. That time that they say give them time, it's not time just to cry. It's time to reset. Because at your worst is where your inner self, is where your subconscious arises and takes action and gives you that directions. So if you are listening close enough, after hurting and after crying, listen to that voice, ask the right questions, you actually come out of there with a revelation. A revelation is that little voice that tells you what to do next. When someone says, I had a good idea, I have a good idea, where did that good idea come from? Because usually good ideas don't come from our physical selves whom experience reality. Good ideas come when you're in quiet, when you are in solitude and listening to yourself. Because there is no healing without finding your true identity. The fact that you are already isolated because you are in pain, because you are hurting, because something is going wrong in your life, you have to ask the right questions, because you can't just wipe your tears and go back the same. That's the whole point of going through pain. Pain is not to harm you. Pain is to build. Pain is to raise awareness. Pain is to grow. So if you feel pain, cry, and then go with the same ideas back to the same fight. Stay alone. Take as much time as you need. Cry as much time as you need. Because with crying comes relief. With crying comes wisdom. Like, okay, I've cried. That's done. That's over. Now use your subconsciousness. What's next? Why am I in this situation? You will be surprised at what answers you get. You will be surprised at what answers you get, because rock bottom is your highest frequency. When you hurt, you are excluded from the world. You are in your feelings. In your feelings means you are with your subconscious self. You are with your God. Your inner God is with you. Your inner God is guarding. That's why sometimes you will feel comfortable while you're crying by yourself, because there is that calmness that comes after that storm. That calmness is where you need to ask those right questions. So don't ever feel like when you are at the bottom or when everything, people are laughing at you, don't ever mistake that with being poor or with lacking or with being little. When you are at your darkest, when you are at your lowest, that's where God lives. That's where you need God the most. That's where your heart bleeds for answers. That's where your heart bleeds for God. That's when you start asking questions. Because if not, everything keeps going right in your life, you will never have questions to ask. Something has to go wrong for you to be inquisitive of why. What's the reason? What is the reason? Why am I hurting? Because you don't hurt for no reason. You don't. And it's not easy. Trust me, you will cry and maybe pray for the same things that you are losing. But know this, your rock bottom, that's where God lies. Use your time by yourself. Spend time with yourself. You will come back with the revelations that will guide you onto what to do next. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video, share if you want to. I'll be coming back with more videos about healing and about how to approach healing with our day-to-day life challenges. Thank you so much, and I love you guys. Here's to Healing with Nelly.